Okay, so here we are on Ebury Street, which is where Ian Fleming used to live, and there's Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. First location.
And then up there, Ian Fleming, 1908 to 1964, creator of James Bond, lived here. Now, also, by sheer coincidence, I'm sure, what have we
We
seen?
stumbled across a lovely Aston Martin Vantage.
Parked right outside the front door.
Yeah, I think
There's the badge.
you can get a nice
And
look
there
from
it
the
is.
front. It's a beauty.
What a
Nicely
beaut.
made. Reminiscent of the one in Living Daylights.
Right outside Fleming's gaff.
Pretty good.
It's like they knew we were coming.
If I lived there, that's the sort of car that I'd have
Exactly.
outside. So, good first location.
Indeed. So should we
Good
go
first
check
location.
in and then...
And then we'll check out
check out.
location number
Cool.
2. Are in 82 Cadogan Square, which is a house used. I'll wait till the truck goes past. The house used in Skyfall. This is M's house. So when it was peeing down with rain, they had the umbrella and brought M up to the door. But it is
007 reporting for duty.
reporting for duty, exactly. But it is also the house used to be owned by John Barry, who obviously lived here and composed some of the songs here and everything like that. And yeah, here it is.
So in there is where old John Barry would have written loads of his Bond music. And the story goes Michael Caine was staying over one night and he heard John sitting up all night at the piano composing, and he kept Michael Caine up all night. He couldn't sleep. And when he came down in the morning to ask him what he'd written, it was the theme song for Goldfinger. Okay, so we've just left the pub after Matthew Parker's launch party for GoldenEye. I'm accompanied by Mr. Chris Wright.
Hello.
I'm accompanied by Tim, our new friend, and I'm accompanied by Mr. AJ Chowdhury. There he is, I've got him. He likes Die Another Day quite a lot, so we're going to get him on for that podcast. And where are you taking us? We're going to go do some Bond location looking.
Yeah, we're going to James Bond's London, the heart of London, Leicester Square for the American audience, where James Bond was born cinematically, and a few points in between. We're on Marylebone High Street, where John Gardner has Bond take a few evenings and girls here, and we're heading into the heart of London.
Beautiful. We'll report back once we get there. So we are here. What's the time? It is midnight. We've had a few drinks and we are at Bond location number 1. Tell them where we are, AJ.
Sotheby's New Bond Street.
There it is. And do the quote, AJ. Do the quote.
I've heard the price of eggs was rather high, but don't you think that's ridiculous? That's a bad quote.
There it is. Sotheby's.
So the stretch Rolls Royce, Camaro stretch Rolls Royce, was just here, which Governor opened the door for him to go into, and then over the street there was a taxi with an MI6 guy that trailed them to the airport and then told them that they flew to Delhi.
A Sotheby's Ghost that was always here, and Bond gets a paper or something
That's
from
right.
Smithers, the Q replacement, or as we like to call him, Boba Fett, and Jeremy Bullock, and that's no longer here. And by the way, can we just look here, up here, please, on top there?
What are we looking at?
This black sculptor, that actually is the oldest artefact in London, because it's an Egyptian sculptor that predates anything else in London.
Wow.
That is worthy of a
That's an old
photo.
Bond fact.
That is worthy of
Sotheby's, of course, was in the short story Property of a Lady, the 1963 short story in the Ivory Hammer, and it's a Fabergé sort of globe, and they made it an egg in the film, and they sort of reversed the polarity of the story, but it still keeps it true to Mr. Ian Fleming.
I think we should break into song, don't you?
We're an
all-time high. We'll change all that's gone before. Doing so much more. Take a solo, Chris.
Where's Timothy?
Where's Timothy?
We're an all-time high. Sing, baby, sing.
I don't know the lyrics.
Take on the world and win. So hold on tight.
Let the flight begin. That was beautiful.
Apologies to John Barry. Right, Right, we're in Savile Row now. This is an actual street in London, but it really relates to an area of bespoke English tailoring, where Fleming had his suits made at Cork Street, and of course Anthony Sinclair was not actually on Savile Row. I don't know where he is, but he designed the suits for Sean Connery. Roger Moore's tailor Dougie Hayward was in Mountain Street, which is in Mayfair, but anyway, we're here in Eves and Hawke, Hard G. They designed Sebastian Faulks' suit for the Devil May Care tour, and there was a nice shop window of Devil May Care bondagery.
Very nice.
This is number 1 Savile Row. If we look at number 2 and number 3 was the head of a company called Apple Corps, the head of the Beatles, and on the top was where the rooftop concert
Shut up!
was there.
Where?
Top of number 3.
Let's have a little look, shall we?
They refurbished it.
That's number 3 there, is
Yeah.
it?
So that is where John Lennon said, "Thank you very much, I hope we passed the audition."
Wow.
No, and that was the greatest concert ever done, if you ask me.
So
In a
this
really
building
bad-
right here I'm pointing
Number
at.
3, Savile Row. If you look at all the old Beatles anthology stuff, you see them going into this. If you know anything about Beatles, they ran this really wacky company and had a shitty recording studio by Magic Alex with no wires in, and that was where it all happened after Brian Epstein died.
Yeah.
And that's the rooftop concert.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, we're at ground zero of James Bond films in London, and we're in Piccadilly Circus. We're by Eros statue, and if we pan around, we see what is now Ripley's, believe it or not, but that used to be the London Pavilion Cinema, and it was in that cinema on the 5th of October 1962 where Dr. No premiered and to the world.
That is bloody impressive.
And on the 10th of October in 1963, From Russia with Love had its premiere there.
Yeah.
And it was only for Goldfinger that they moved to Leicester Square Odeon, which we'll go to soon. And then Thunderball had one of its premieres there in December 1965. Thunderball was too big for one cinema by that stage. They had a second cinema, which we'll show you along the way.
Okay, so behind me we've made a little detour to Shanghai in the middle of London, which is the the tower that Bond trails Patrice to, just before he hangs off the bottom of the lift and has the little shadowy fight, and here it is. Who do you work for? And there's the little reception desk where the body gets dragged behind.
Okay, hello James Bond Radio listeners. So this location that Tom and I just found, we actually walked past straight away, and then we realised, well, it's got to be around here somewhere. So we watched a video. It is, of course, part of the boat chase from The World Is Not Enough. And if you can see over my shoulder there, this is where the boat comes round. It comes screaming round the corner, slashes Tom with a ton load of water, and then it goes flying all the way up there. And there are a couple, if you can just see, there are a couple of little ramps that it goes up, so it goes boom boom, and then flies through the boathouse at the end, which unfortunately isn't there. But yeah, it's a wicked location, and I'm glad we found it. Nice one.